Good morning, football fans. It's Saturday morning and we are on the road again. We're at Warrington Bank Quay Station this time. We're about to get the train over to Chester, where we will be watching Chester against Curzon Ashton. Let's get on the journey and I'll speak to you when we arrive. We have arrived. We are in the historic Roman city of Chester. But we are not watching Chester City today. No, we are watching Chester FC. In 2010, Chester City went bust and Chester FC were formed as a replacement club, as a Phoenix club as it were. The advantage that Chester FC had was that the Diva Stadium, previously inhabited by Chester City, was owned by Cheshire West and Chester Council. So they didn't lose their stadium, and when Chester FC was reformed, the council leased the stadium back to them. That's a big advantage for a club that's reforming. There's a little bit of history there. We've been fed, we've arrived. You know what happens next? It's time to get watered. Let's head into the city, see what's around. Now, whilst we were down in London last weekend watching Charlton, I made an observation on the price of a beer at the ground. Now, we're not at the ground yet, we're in Wetherspoons in Chester city centre, but I've got myself a shipyard, as always, and I can confirm it's excellent, and even better, the price is right there, £2.99 for a pint. Great to be back in the glorious north, isn't it? Yeah, I'm going to enjoy a few of these today, I think. Now, after they reformed, Chester did make it as high as the Conference National, but they're currently in the Conference North, which is step 6 of the English pyramid. So you have Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2, Conference National, and then Conference North and South. So they're in step 6. They are currently in 4th with 73 points, and they are very much in the title race still. Kidderminster flying at the top of the league, but Chester have got an outside chance. I think they're relying on others to drop points really, and it's a bit of a long shot, but they're still in a title race. Curzon Ashton, I was surprised to see, are in 8th. They've got 65 points, and if they held that and maintained that finish, that would be their best ever league finish, which is pretty impressive for Curzon Ashton, I think. Anyway, let's finish this beer. I'm going to go to another pub, get another beer in, and we'll see if we can find some more interesting stats and have a bit of a look around and stuff. Come on, let's go. What do we reckon? When I was in Kenya over Christmas watching football, everybody kept saying that I look like Arne Slot. Personally, I'm not having it. Anyway, let's move on. We're outside of Chester Cathedral here, and I just wanted to use this opportunity at an iconic location to ask you to stick with this video till the end, because we've got some pretty big news about where we're going next and where we're going to be filming our football videos. And it's a pretty iconic, arguably the most iconic footballing nation in the world. Have a guess now if you want, leave it in the comments, whatever, but I'll tell you at the end of the video. This is really, really exciting stuff. Anyway, onwards to the next pub. Sometimes I think in England we take a lot of this stuff for granted, but this is as historic as it gets really. Beautiful stuff. So actually, with again another historic building in the background, we can do a little bit about Curzon Ashton here, and it's pretty short and it's pretty easy, because I read through their Wikipedia, I looked on their website, I looked for famous ex-players, I looked for chairmen, I looked for managers. I couldn't really find anything that rang a bell with me in terms of names that I recognised. But they spent the majority of their life in the Northern Premier League and then got promoted to the Conference North in 2015. Probably just as my kind of interest in that level of football had kind of finished, given what had happened with Northwich, I suppose. Curzon Ashton are managed by Craig Marn. We spoke about sons, footballing sons, at other games that we went to, such as AFC Wimbledon and Charlton as well. Craig Marn is the son of Alan Marn. I remember him from Tranmere days. I think he played for Blackburn as well. Did he ever spell at Watford? Remember, I think he had a good left foot, didn't he? The interesting thing about Craig Marn, he's managing Curzon Ashton, but he also played over 200 games for Chester FC. So it'll be interesting to see what type of reception he gets. In terms of players that I recognised, guys, excuse me again, the geek in me is coming out. So I recognised Stefan Moles, not only because I once signed him on Football Manager, again, excuse me, but he also had quite a decent spell playing for Warrington Town, where I live as well. So he's in the squad. Let's see whether he plays today. Other than that, guys, I haven't really got a lot to offer on Curzon Ashton. Right, let's keep moving on. Come on. If I'm completely honest, I think in Britain we take a lot of this for granted. I really do. Chester's a beautiful city. I've not been over here for a few years, actually. I love it here. Let's have a look around. Second Wetherspoons of the day, and it's the first pint of spring summer that I'm having outside. Britain, we are so back. So the Wetherspoons in Chester City Centre was $2.99 for a shipyard. This one's a little bit more upmarket in terms of the area of Chester it's in, full of like artisan stalls and independent microbreweries and stuff like that. So this one was £3.59, which I'm still kind of okay with, but a bit more expensive than down the road, which is only a 10-minute walk away. Anyway, we crack on. So we've covered off Curzon Ashton. Admittedly, I don't know a great deal about them, past or present. I can't ever remember coming up against them in my time supporting Northwich, and I can't ever remember going to their ground either. But Chester and Chester City is very different. Focusing predominantly on Chester now, currently they're managed by Callum McIntyre, who is an academy manager who kind of stepped up on an interim basis to manage the team, has done a good job and been given the job full time. Usually you kind of see those like internal appointments fade off after a period of time, but he's been in charge quite a while now and he's doing really, really well, so more power to him, I say, and I think he's quite young, only in his early 30s. So, you know, again, well done to the lad. One person I am keen to keep my eye on today is former 1874 Northwich man Tom Pearce. Hopefully he's still at the club, he's listed as in the squad, he's on the website, hopefully he plays. He's done quite well for them. I remember when 1874 Northwich first started, Tom Pearce, we got on loan from, I don't think it was Chester, was it Chester? No, we got him on loan. He was way too good for the level we were playing at. And it's really nice to see that he's gone on to have a really good career at a decent level, actually. The other name that kind of stood out for me was Colin Woodthorpe. He is Callum McIntyre's assistant manager. I recognise him from Stockport and Bury. He was one of those kind of like greater Manchester players who'd been around a bit. I think he had a little spell at Macclesfield as well. And his son, Nathan Woodthorpe, plays in midfield for Chester. So, yeah, that's it in terms of kind of the names that I recognise and what I know. Again, from a Chester perspective, two absolute bona fide Northwich legends that jump out for me were Steve Burr, had a spell managing Chester. There were many, many people at Northwich that said Steve Burr always had a hankering for managing Chester. We'll leave that one, and he got there in the end. And when Steve Burr was sacked, his assistant was John McCarthy, the legendary former Birmingham winger, again kind of non-league Midlands journeyman, who was fantastic for Northwich as a veteran. He took over and he did okay there for 18 months or so before he was sacked. So there's a few names that have been associated between Northwich and Chester over the years. Anyway, let's get this beer down us. We'll get along to the ground, start getting into some of the detail of that next. Come on. We are here. And as you can see, there is remnants of Chester City being mentioned here. It's interesting. We are here. We are at the Diva Stadium, the home of Chester FC. The interesting thing, I guess, about this stadium is that the car park and offices are in England. So we're currently stood on English soil. The pitch, the stands, everything to do with the stadium is actually in Wales. It's in Welsh territory. So let's have a look around, let's get inside, and when we go to watch the game, we're going to be crossing into Wales. Come on, let's keep going, let's keep moving and see what's around, see if we can find another beer as well. Whilst I was doing the research for this game and kind of looking into the history and everything that had gone on with Chester, I saw an interesting stat that I wasn't aware of actually. In 2012, the Diva Stadium recorded its highest ever attendance, and that was 5,009. The team they played that day? Northwich Victoria. Now, I'm not going to claim that my old team, Northwich Victoria, had a massive away following that they brought here. They didn't. And they don't. That was the day that Chester could have won the league, they could have won the Conference North and gone into the Conference National. They got what they needed that day, a 1-1 draw, and that was enough for them to seal the title against one of their big rivals and gain promotion to the Conference National. Where I was that day, I've got no idea. It was in 2012, so it was a long time ago. But I really should have been watching that. And I wasn't. I can't remember where I was, what I was doing or anything. But interesting stat, I thought that their highest ever attendance was against my old team, Northwich Victoria. Right, I am now going to look for a beer. Let's keep going. Some old Chester City shirts here. You can see. Pre-Chester FC. Look at that, that's a hell of a shirt. Quick Save as a sponsor as well. There's your thumbnail right there, right? We have gone from having our first pint outside to it now being raining outside. You couldn't get any more British than that. Anyway, we're inside. Yeah, we've got a Guinness on the go. We'll be fine. Okay, just stepped outside, away from the noise of the bar. I am getting rained on to make this bit of the video, but it's okay. I'll survive. Wanted to cover off the price of the ticket today, and it is £19. Let's see if that'll come into focus quickly. Yeah. Honestly, I think that's a bit much at step 6. I remember watching Northwich, albeit 20 years ago in the Conference North, I think it was 12 quid. I suppose over that period of time the inflation on that isn't really that much. We've got good seats. I don't know, it feels a bit much, but everything's expensive nowadays, isn't it? Anyway, let's continue with the day. Let's not get rained on anymore, we'll get into the ground. Cheers. Okay, the Chester team is out, and I'm pleased to say that my man Tom Pears is in. at number 7 there, and Colin Woodthorpe's son is also playing. Let's see if we can find the Curzon Ashton team before we head in. It's bloody raining now, typical England, but we have now entered Wales. We've stepped into the territory of the ground. We're heading round to our seat. Oh, where we're going, we're not going to need a hoodie, we're not going to need a coat, we're not even going to need jeans on. I can't wait to get there and watch some proper football in the sun. But for the meantime, let's crack on with this game in Chester and get round to our seat and see what's going on in there.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have kicked off, but the Curzon Ashton team is out, and here it is. My man Stefan Moles is at number 10. Let's see how he gets on. It's 1-1. Well, we have got a game on here. Curzon Ashton haven't brought the biggest following.
Curzon Ashton scorer number 12, Alex Curran.
1-1. Well wide. Not sure what he was even trying to do there. 23 years ago was the last time I was here, and I was there, watching Northwich Victoria come from 2-0 down against Chester City. Probably one of my best memories as a Northwich fan. I was exactly, let's see if we can get this right again, there. Brilliant, remember it fondly. Oh God, what a bloody terrible corner. I think he might blow up as soon as the keeper takes his goal kick, which might be a while considering the time they've been taking to take them. No, a bit more of the game to go, okay. That's it.
Okay, now we don't have time, then it says a nice red room down there. And if you've had a go on the 50-50, have your tickets ready and we'll get that result for you very, very shortly.
Well, it's half time at the Diva and it is Chester 1, Curzon Ashton 1. Very, very tight game actually. Classic, I would say, Conference North battle. Very scrappy, lots of long ball, it's very direct. Chester took the lead. Tom Pearce cut in on his right foot, crossed it. The Curzon Ashton guy kind of shanked it. One of those where he's trying to clear it, but it kind of comes off his shin, loops over the goalkeeper and goes in. Chester 1 up. Chester first 15 minutes, I would say, were probably the better team, but Curzon grew into it. They've got a big lad. I've forgotten his name now, actually. I'll put it in on some text. Number 22 in midfield, who's pulling the strings for them. He's very, very good. And he kind of pinged a diagonal forwards. It got nodded down. The Curzon lad, the Curzon striker, flicked it on, and it went over to the kind of left winger who cut in, drove it across the keeper. And as far as Tom Pearce has been doing, my man, I'm not sure he's an out-and-out striker. I think he'd probably be better utilised in wide areas, either on that space where he's coming in from the left-hand side on his right foot, or going on the outside of people on the right. Chester have got a really good goalkeeper as well, who I believe is on loan from Wolves, a big lad his distribution has been fantastic. He's come for everything, very commanding, very impressive actually. It's bloody raining now, after I was saying in the city before that it's really nice and I'm having beers outside. And it's bloody cold as well. Anyway, I'm going to go back inside. Let's get in position for the second half and see what happens. This is a tight game. I don't know, it's going to be narrow either way, this. For me, Curzon just edged that first half, you know, honestly. Let's see what happens anyway. Come on. Players are out for the second half. The referee is out. Cursory glances at watches completed.
Okay, once again everyone, it looks as though we're good to go, so as ever, let's get right behind the Blues everyone, come on Chester!
Floodlights are on. And we know what's going to happen now. The classic non-league set piece. Kick-off routine, there we go. And by the way, it is absolutely freezing here now. Classic British spring day. And I've moved slightly. We've got the Curzon Ashton fans to the side of me. The Curzon Ashton ultras, you may say. Right, anyway, let's sit down, try and get some warmth. Oh, hello, we've got the lights on as well. And enjoy the second half. Let's see what happens here. I think this is going to go narrow one way or the other. 2-1 one way or the other. That's my prediction. Fantastic goalkeeping. Chester are putting a lot of balls in the box, but they just don't have the physical presence to compete for them. They just don't. Easy. This lad in goal for Chester's a quality keeper for this level. And this keeper for Curzon has also been excellent, to be fair. I may have cursed one of them or both of them, but let's see what happens. 10 minutes to go. Chester haven't won a thing in the air. They've got no physical presence whatsoever. Chester free kick here. Are Curzon not going to bother putting a wall up? They put a one-man wall up. Chester might as well have a drive at goal here. Have a go. Oh, goodness me. Well, that says it all for me, I think, really. This is destined to finish a draw. 1-1 as it stands. I think probably 3-4 minutes left. Going to be a draw, this. Famous last words, of course. Can Chester offer something? They've won nothing in the air all day, and they've not won that either. Unsurprising. They're just not a very strong team, Chester. They've got no big lads in there. I think Chester could have made a good save there. Curzon corner in injury time. Nearly bloody 5 o'clock. Nah, you've got to beat the first man. How often do we see that? Terrible. Curzon has still got it here. Did he just shift it into the box? That's a foul. And that might be game over as well. Nope, just can't win that, and that's game over. And it is 1-1. A dire second half, to be honest. A draw, a fair result. Everybody wants to go home. I think it's also absolutely freezing. Let's get back to the pub. Well, that's it. Ended 1-1. Diabolical second half. The big lad in midfield that I was talking about, number 22 for Curzon Ashton, Adam Barton, he was excellent. Not a lot to report from that second half. Both goalkeepers played very well, very steady. Tom Pearce moved out to the wide spaces as I thought he might. They brought a number 9 on up front. He wasn't very good, to be honest. It was a bit of a classic Conference North game, and at that level I always feel that you're not going to get very far without a big man or a big strong team, and Chester just didn't have the physical presence, especially up front. 1-1, just about the right result. The weather's a bit grim. Desperate to get back into the pub now, warm up a little bit, and then let's get the train home. So, quick reminder, the next batch of videos are going to be from Brazil. Okay, so we've got some time in Rio, some time in Sao Paulo. We're going to be watching a handful of games out there. Press the like, subscribe, leave some comments. Make sure you do not miss these videos from Brazil. Until the next time, I'll see you then.